Hello, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching me from right now. So, today I am going to be teaching you guys, or I'm going to be showing you how to use FOREX Factory on your mobile device. So, FOREX Factory is our go to hub where we go to look at the various fundamentals that we have coming up on every currency pair that we have in the market. So if I want to look for every news or an economic activity or event that is coming up on the US dollar, what I just need to do is that I go to Forex Factory. So in trading, we as trader we make use of three type of analysis for us to strive as a forex trader. So we have three types of analysis that we do in trading, and the first type of analysis that we do is called technical analysis, right? Technical analysis. The second one is fundamental, right? And the last one is sentimental. So technical analysis has to do with everything that you see on the chart. So everything that has to do with candlesticks and charting, chart patterns, candlestick patterns, all of those things, they will incorporate or they will fall among what we call technical analysis. Now, the next one that we have is fundamental analysis. And fundamental analysis will have to do with all related news or economic activities that we have affecting the value of a currency. So we have things like unemployment, we have interest rate, we have political crisis, we have geopolitical crisis as well, we have economic crisis, we have religious crisis, we have gross national product, gross domestic product, and a whole lot of factors that will affect the price of the currency pair. So let's take for example, we have a factor or we have a fundamental like unemployment. So when employment is high in a country, it means that there are a lot of people in that country who cannot access jobs and services, right? And if they cannot access jobs and services, it means that they have low spending capacity. It means that their propensity to spend is reduced. Okay. Now it means that in turn the economy is not performing well. And if the economy is not performing well, you're going to realize that the value of the currency is going to depreciate in value. So whenever we have high unemployment in a country, then you see that the value of the currency begins to depreciate. And when we have a fair or a high level of employment, then we can see, it can also be directly reflected by increments in the value of the currency of that particular country. So whenever you're trading, these fundamental activities, these news activities, always, I do not talk about sentimental because sentimental is just based on you trading out of sentiments, right? So you get into the market and you feel like, oh, you have that gut feeling that the market is going to sell, the market is going to buy, and you go with that gut feeling. That is you trading out of sentiment, right? It is mostly common with crypto trading. Now, what I was saying is that when you get into trading, you have to realize that fundamental factors are going to move the market drastically and dramatically to the upside or to the downside of the market. And so, a well rounded knowledge and a perfect understanding of how these fundamentals affect the price of an asset, right, is what allows you to strive in the market. Because if you don't know that the price of the US dollar is going to be affected by a news activity or by a speech by Powell today or whatever day that activity is coming up on, right? It is going to catch you by surprise in the market, and you don't want to be trading uninformed in the market. So whatever thing we are doing is we are trying to build what is called informed trading. So whatever resources we are gathering from technical analysis, from fundamental analysis, and from the different types of analysis that we have, we are trying to build what is called informed trading. Okay, so what if you don't have the FOREX Factory application? What you just need to do is you go to Play Store. Recently it is difficult to find it on Play Store, but when you open it on Chrome, right, they are going to suggest for you to install the application on your device. And so the next thing that you just need to do is to install it. So if you look at it, this is the application that we have here, FOREX Factory. So once you have the application, the next thing that you need to do is you need to create an account with it. You need to create an account with FOREX Factory. You need to also change the date, right, to represent the date in your country. Those are some few things that you need to do as a when you first use this application. You don't want to be expecting a news activity at 1:30, and because you have a wrong date, it is showing you that that news activity is coming out at 2:30, right? You're going to miss that news activity, or it is going to get you catch you wanted in the market. So the first thing that you do is for you to sign in and for you to make sure that the date correspond with your own date. All right, now my account is already created, so you're not going to see all that options for me to create an account, or for me to change that date. But whenever you get into the application, you're going to see those you're going to see that function, and I'm going to show you where you can see it. So this is it from here. If you're not logged in already, then it is going to be showing you to log in from this point. So if I click on it, it is either going to be showing me to log in, or it is going to be showing me to create an account. So if I don't have an account, what I just need to do is I just need to come to where we have this icon, right? The icon at the top right hand side of your device. So when I click on that icon, what I just need to do is I enter my email and I enter my password. So let me see. I hope that I did not forget my email. The email that I used to create this account, right? Let's see if I did not forget that. So since I have an account, what I will do is that I will just log in. But if I don't have an account, right? If I don't have an account, what I'm going to do is that I am going to opt to create a new account. So once you come to this interface and you already have an account, all you need to do is to enter your information here and you log in. If you don't have an account, then you need to come to where you have register an account. If you have forgotten your password, then you can always come also to where you have recover password, and you will be able to recover your password from that point. All right, so once that is done, if you already have an account, let me see, I hope that that account that information is correct, right? So if it is correct, I am going to be logged in. Okay, so now I am logged in. It shows that the information that I enter is correct, right? Now when you log into your account, this is how when you log into your application, this is how it is going to be. Or when you create your account, this is how it is going to show. Now the next thing is, if I click on this icon that we have over here, right? Let me try to get that pen icon back. So if I click on this icon that we have here, right, it is going to lead us to the menu dashboard, right? And here you can see that this is the name. If I was not logged in, right, if I was not logged in, it will be showing me to log in from this point. So you could log in from where we logged in, and you can also log in from here as well. Now it is also showing me log out. If I want to log out, then I need to log out from that point. Now this is the next point that you need to pay attention to. You need to pay attention to where we have this date. And if the date is not correct, if the date is not correct or does not correspond to your time zone, then you need to go and correct it. For me, I am in West Africa, so that is my time zone, GMT +1 West Africa, right? So that is why my time zone is like that. If you're in the USA, if you're out of the country, right, you will need to edit this to correspond to the time zone that you are presently at right now. So we are going to be looking at, once you're done, what you just need to do is to save settings. All right, once you save that, everything will be in place. So those are the two things that you need to take note of. Now, the first thing that we are going to be looking at here is where we have this our logo. So anytime you want to go back to home, right, you can click on this logo, and when you click on that logo, you're going to be led back to the home icon. So I'm having a little bit of network issues, right? So it is a problem with us here in Africa, network issues. Okay, network issues is one of the biggest problems that we face in Africa. Now, so I was saying that once you come here, and it, maybe you want to go back, maybe you are on this interface, right? And you want to go back to, you want to, let's say you want to go back to your home page, right? And you don't know where to go to. You just need to click on where you have this menu. Once you click on where you have that menu, all you need to do is to click on where you see FOREX Factory, and you are going to be led back to your to the home dashboard. Now, please just give me a few seconds. Let me try to rectify these internet issues. So at whatever point that you are trading, you should be able to, you should be informed, you should be well informed of whatever economic activity or whatever news event that is coming up at that particular point in time. So once upon a time, I traveled and I met a friend, and he was trading cryptocurrency. He was trading Notcoin, and on that day it was the last Friday or the first Friday of the month, and NFP was right around the corner. So I asked him that, you're trading, do you know that there is a fundamental coming up on the US dollar? And since the US dollar is traded against a large basket of other currencies, the movement in the price of the US dollar is likely to affect the prices of other currencies, right? Even cryptocurrencies. So USDT is pegged to the US dollar. So movements in the price of the US dollar will also have corresponding movements in the price of uh, of USDT, right, which is a cryptocurrency. So he's trading around this period, and I'm like, bro, do you know that there is a fundamental coming up on the US dollar, on the on the DXY, right? That is the dollar index. And he says, I don't know. And I say, okay, you're already running in a losing position. So what you just need to do is to close this position, because we haven't looked at this fundamental and we don't know how the market could react to it. And I thought he had closed the trade, but it was only afterwards that I realized that he had not closed the trade. And when that fundamental got released, he lost about $300 out of his $500 on his account. So be it that he was informed that there is a fundamental coming up, right? Be it that he was informed that there is a fundamental coming up, and he was able to take action before that fundamental is released, then he would have been able to avoid that dreadful situation. So at any point in time when you're trading, you need to be aware of each fundamental that is coming up in the market. So I was saying that once you are on a once you navigate to an interface like this one, and you want to go back to the home menu, you can just click on the FOREX Factory icon that you have here, and you will come back to the home icon. So that is how you can quickly go to home. Okay, and on the home icon here, you can see scanner, you can see the US dollar, the euro USD, GBP USD, USD JPY, and these are all live charts, right? So we can show you percentage. It shows you a percentage appreciation or percentage depreciation on the price of any currency pair, right? So right down here, you're going to see the fundamentals that are for the day, right? This is the time right here, and this is the date. You always want to make sure that this time and date correspond to your own local time and date. So it is 10:52 a.m. for us right now, and it is Tuesday 14 March, right? And that is when we are doing this video, Tuesday 14 March 2025. Now the next thing that you're going to see is you're going to see the time when that news release is coming up, and you're going to see the currency pair, you're going to see the impact, and you're going to see the actual effect that the news activity will have on a currency pair. Usually you're going to see the forecasted value, you're going to see a lot as well, right? So it is not displayed on this our application version, right? It is not displayed on the application, so we are going to need to have to go right deep into it for us to look at it. But now let us look at the futures that we have here quickly before we go deep into these news activities that we have affecting currency pairs in the market. So trading without you being able to identify which news activity is coming up is like you gambling, right? So the first thing when you do in the morning, you open your trading view, you open your FOREX Factory, you open your baby peeps, and you can start working with a calm mind from that perspective. So you can come here to forums. Forums is where you can come and you interact with other traders, right? You can come here and join this forum so that you can be interacting with other traders. And also uh, on that forums you can come to interact with other traders, right? So I'm facing a little bit of difficulties going to that page again. I don't know what is happening. Maybe it's still plagued by network. Okay, so the next one is trades. So for trades, this is where you come to look at the trade ideas that people have published. So you can see people's trading ideas that have published. So a lot of people are saying that they should sell gold. But for me, what I will tell you now is that you should not be looking for any selling opportunities on gold, right? If you're selling gold, that you're selling gold based on assumption. Gold still remains in a powerful uptrend, and if you understand the importance of going with the trend, not trying to fight the current and flowing with the wave, right? Then you will not be looking for selling opportunities on gold. But nonetheless, that is where you can always go to look at people's trade ideas as well. Then this is where you come to under news if you want to look at various news activities that are coming up or that are affecting each currency pair or each nation. You can come to it here. So this is it: Bank of England news, Italian news, UK news, a lot of news activities coming up. The next one is calendar. Okay, now if you come to this calendar and your calendar is wrong, it means that probably you haven't updated your time, your date, and your month. Okay, so you need to go and do that. Then you can go, you can start navigating activities, right? You can come here to navigate past events. Maybe I want to look at a news activity that passed last month, right? I can come and I look at it from last month, and I can choose the date, and I can be able to look at the news activity that we had on that day and how it affected the price of a currency pair. So this is where we are today on the 14th of March 2025, right? And on the 14th of March 2025, you are going to see the various news activities that we have affecting other currency pairs as well. All right, now the next one that we are going to be looking at is markets, right? And other markets, you are going to be looking at the news activities that we have on currency pairs. So still yet we are facing a little bit of network issues. So when you are a trader in Cameroon or in Africa, this is one of the things that you are going to face, right? These are one of the challenges that you face as a trader in Africa. You have network issues. So imagine you placing a trade and without placing a stop loss, and you begin to experience this type of thing that we are experiencing right now. It is going to scare you to death, right? Imagine that you put on your trade. A lot of people have blown their accounts because of these network issues that we face rampantly everywhere around the nation, right? So you should be cognizant of the fact that once you're trading in Africa or once you're trading in Cameroon, you should be able to uh, go in for good network services, right? So even though you go in for good network services, at times this is how the reaction that you get. You get network coming up, going out, coming up, going out, coming up, going out, right? So that is what we face as traders in our country. Now, so calendar is simply where you will go to look at uh, different activities that are coming up on your calendar on a currency pair, right? So let us just give it a little bit of time. Let me see. Give it let's just give it a little bit of time for it to reload. And when it reloads, then everything is going to be fine. Really, really sorry about that. So that is one of the major problems that we face in Africa as traders, right? So when it connects again, then we are going to continue. So I'm really, really sorry for that. You just need to bear with me. These are unforeseen circumstances, right? So imagine that the whole time when I'm doing nothing, the internet connection is good. And by the time I get up to do something, it begins to do such, right? So that is how it is. That is what we call unforeseen circumstances. And in trading, right, a lot of unforeseen circumstances are going to be coming up. There is a lot of uncertainty in the market, right? So you don't know what could happen, possibly next, what the next move in the market could do. So even if your technicals and all indicators predict that the market should be buying right now, there is a point in the market when everything will align that the market should be buying, but the market will align bearish. So those are the unforeseen and the uncertainties in the market. So a lot of people, when you come into trading, you're coming in with this mind which says that you should always be settled, right? You should be in control. You should be in control. And once you come into trading, the mind is going to quickly realize that it is not in control, and it is going to start playing a lot of tricks on you. So the first thing that you do is, if you find yourself in a situation where you're afraid to take trades in the market, you're afraid to take a loss in the market, you're facing a lot of fears, right? Fear of missing out, fear of losing, and all these fears that come up in trading. You're going to have to realize that at every point in the market there is uncertainty, and also there is risks of capital at every point. So you need to accept the fact that there is risks at every point, right? There is uncertainty, and you need to accept this fear. It is only through acceptance that we are able to transcend fear, fear of losing, fear of taking trades, fear of missing out. It is through acceptance that we are able to transcend all of this. So if you cannot accept the possibility that you are going to be wrong in the market, right, and you are going to lose money, you are going to find these fears coming up. And you need to also be aware of the fact that accepting that, okay, I I have accepted risks, I have accepted uncertainty, does not mean that deep down to the core you're going to be accepting it. So it is going to take a couple of time for us to train the mind. Once you train the mind to be able to accept uncertainty, to accept risks, and to accept losing, to accept mistakes, and to use them to fuel your journey instead of letting these things dictate your journey, then you're going to realize that the trading journey that you are on is going to be a beautiful one for you. But if you try to avoid all of these, once you begin to experience fear and you are experiencing all these emotions coming up, right? I won't like to say they are negative emotions, because each emotion helps us in its own way. So once you begin to realize these emotions coming up, you realize that uh, it is by you being able to your awareness of this emotion, right? So when you're trading and you begin to encounter a fearful situation and fear begins to come up, it is by you being able to recognize that this is fear coming up, right? So there is a process through which you can control or you can deal with emotions, right? And the first thing is for you to be able to recognize the emotion, right? So when you recognize it, you're able to tell that, oh, this is the emotion that is coming up. And the second thing that you do is that you acknowledge it. You acknowledge it and you accept it. If there is any of these emotions coming up, you accept it without judgment. So if there is fear coming up, you should accept that fear without judging it. And after acknowledging it, you investigate. You begin to find out what is the root cause of this fear. So you might be thinking that you're feeling afraid to take a trade because you don't want to lose money, but it's because you leverage, you're using a very fat lot size, right? So, and it could also be because of some subconscious patterns that are within you. So once you begin to investigate it, you're going to realize that you're going to have you're going to realize a lot of things. And the last thing is that you're going to have to uh, not identify with it, right? You don't need to identify with it. So that is a topic for another day. If you're not following us, if you're not in our Telegram channel, if you're not following us, make sure to follow up with us, because it is not only about technical analysis, it is not only about fundamentals, it is also about the mind that you bring into the moment of performance, the mind that you bring and the psychology and everything that you bring. So this is us under calendar, and under calendar you can see, okay, we already dealt with calendar and we're talking about markets, right? So under markets, you are going to see the different currency pairs that you are trading, and you're also going to see the various economic activities or the economic news events that are coming up on that currency pair. Okay, so uh, that is where you're going to find it under markets. I don't know, this thing is still a little bit slow. Okay, so this is under markets, and I can change it from here, right? If I want to change it to be Euro USD, I can change it to be Euro USD. If you want to change it to be gold, if you want to change it to be whatever currency pair that you're trading, then you can come under markets. And now it is giving you a detailed analysis on fundamentals that are coming up on the US, on GBP USD. So this is solely on GBP USD, right? And these are other upcoming events that we have on GBP USD. These are upcoming events. So it has everything. These are the charts of GBP USD at the moment, and on the 5 minute time frame you could change it as well to be on whatever time frame that you want it to be on, right? So you could navigate to whatever time frame that you want it to be on. These are latest story on GBP USD and everything that you can find on this market. So if you want to find out the brokers that we have, right? And by the way, we use Exness as our broker, and Exness is the number one broker that you find out there. So I recommend that you create an account with Exness, and there are several reasons why you should create an account with Exness, right? So we have very tight spreads. We have ease to deposit and withdraw, very simple interface, and good customer support. So once you're going in for a broker, you need to be mindful of the type of broker that you go in for as well. So when you come into trading, there are three pillars of successful trading. We have one, we have your platform, which is your broker, your trading platform. Even what we are trading now is a trading platform. We have MT5 and all of those things, right? And your broker is also a platform. We have methodology that has to do with technical analysis, and also we have psychology, which has to do with mindset and emotional management. All right, so you must have a good platform for you to have a well balanced trading journey. Okay, so that is it for all of this interface that we have here, or this toolbar that we have here. So we have all of that in place. So we have looked at all of that, and if you look at this toolbar here, it is simply a representation of everything that we have touched. Okay, so you can come here also for notifications, right? You can come here. If you set notifications on GBP, USD, or whatever currency pair that you set your alerts on, you could come here and you're able to spot out those notifications. So what we are going to do now is we are going to go to calendar. Okay, so still facing a little bit of connectivity issues there. I hope this gets better. I just hope it gets better. It's not giving us the best vibe that we wanted, right? So this is not giving us the best vibe that we would have wanted. Now, please just give it a little bit of time. Let us look at the important aspect. I never intended for this video to be this long, but due to circumstances, right? I just need you to bear with me. I just need us to bear with each other, right? So try to get what I'm saying. Forget about the internet connection, right? Just try to get what I am saying. So please just hold on for a few minutes. Let us try to reconnect. Now, I was saying that if you are not in our Telegram channel, you should endeavor to join our Telegram channel, because in our Telegram channel, we have a lot of information that is going to help you navigate your trading journey, especially on technical analysis. So we have everything: technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and also on mindset, psychology, and emotional management. And when it comes to management of the self, that is emotional management and mindset, that is where a lot of traders face plenty of difficulties. So that is where we really look, or we really base our attention on, right? So we really base our attention on that, because it is from there that you build the right foundation. Now, let us look at this news activity that we have here. We've already pretty much talked about everything, but the most important thing when it comes to looking at fundamentals is we're not going to be looking at the various fundamentals. We're just going to be looking at the platform, right? But we are going to explaining what some of these fundamental factors mean and what they represent for us in the market. So let us take a date like today, right? So we said on each fundamental, you're going to see the date and the time which that fundamental is going to be released, so that you're cognizant or you're aware of the time and the frequency of release of that fundamental. And it is also going to show you the currency which is being released on. So this is on euro, this is on euro, this is on GBP, euro, CNY, CAD, and all the like, right? So all these ones that are blurred, it shows that we have already had that news release. So it's already above 10:30, right? So we already have this news release. So once a news is released, you're going to have the value displayed here. Once it's not been released yet, there's not going to be any value displayed there. So when you're looking at fundamental analysis and you're looking at these folders, right, you're going to realize that there are some folders which have a yellow color, there are some that have a red color, and there are some that have an orange color, right? Each of these have what they are telling you. So the yellow color though represent the low impact news, okay? So they represent low impact news. So these news activities are going to have a lesser impact when they are being, after they are released, right? That is simply it. Then the medium impact represented by these folders that we have here, right? The medium impact represented by this folder, right? This is a folder that we have here. By this folder, right, is a folder that represents news activities that will have, let's say, a medium effect, right? Let's say a 50% reaction in the market. And the last one that we have is the red folder news, right? These are red folder news activities that we have here. And the red folder news activities are what we call the high impact news. It means that at the release of this news activity, you're going to see spikes to the upside or to the downside of your of price, right? And one thing that you should note when trading news activities, right, is that you should always look out for multiple news activities. Is this fundamental coming along with other news activities? Because at one point you're going to see that there is unemployment coming up, there is NFP coming up, there is unemployment change coming up, there is interest rate coming up at the same time on the same currency pair, right? And they might have different impacts on news activity on the currency pair. So unemployment might mean that if unemployment is low, then the currency pair will appreciate. And NFP, if NFP shows that NFP is low, right, that non-farm payroll is low, then it might mean that it is bad for the currency, and so we might see depreciation in the value of the currency pair. So in such a scenario, when the news is released, you're going to see movement in price in this direction. So we see a sharp move to the upside, a sharp move back to the downside, a sharp move to the upside again. So that is one thing that you need to note. How many news activities are coming up on the same time? Then the impact that the news has on the currency pair, right? The impact, is it a high impact news? And then also you're going to be looking at the usual effect that it has on the currency pair. So now we have an understanding that the yellow folders, they represent low impact news, the red folders, they represent high impact news, and the orange folders, they represent medium impact news. So if you want to trade all these news activities, how are we going to go around it? So once I click on this folder, you're going to realize that another toolbox, right, shows up below. And here it is showing actual, it is showing forecast, it is showing previous, right? And it is on this value, it is from this point that we are going to be determining what to be doing when that news activity is released. Now, where are you going to be looking at it? You are going to be looking at it in terms of where we have this other folder, right? Where we have this box here. Now, our beloved network again is dealing with us. Now, there is a folder there that once you click on that folder, it is going to open up another interface, and it is going to show you different informations about that particular fundamental that is coming up. So it is going to show you who releases the fundamental, what branch of the government releases the fundamental, and it is going to show you a lot of things. Now, there is one point there that our attention is going to be based on, and it is going to be based on the usual effect that it usually has, that the news release will have on the price of the currency pair. So let us look at something like unemployment. We said when unemployment is high, it means that there are a lot of people who are not gainfully employed in the economy, and it means that they have they have little access to money, right? And when you have little access to money, it means that your spending power or your propensity to spend is also reduced. Your purchasing power is reduced. Now, that is a negative indicator for the economy. And so you're going to see that on an indicator such as unemployment, you're going to see that if the forecasted value, right, if the forecasted value is less than the actual, right, we are going to have let me take it this way. Now, when you open that folder, you're going to see that some of the news activity, when the usual or when the forecasted value is greater than the actual value, right, it is going to be good for the currency pair. And for some activities, when the forecasted value is greater than the actual value, it is going to be bad for the currency pair. So that is where our attention is mostly focused on the usual effect that it will have on a currency pair. So look at something like unemployment, right? Let us look at unemployment. If we say unemployment for this year was, or for this month was 0.3%, right? And the next month, let's say for the past month, unemployment was 0.3%. And for this month, we are expecting, or we are forecasting a value of, let's say, 0.3% again, right? We are forecasting 0.3% again. And the actual value comes out and it is 0.4%, right? It means that we have a higher value. and it means that actual is greater than forecast. And if actual is greater than forecast for an indicator such as unemployment, it means that we are going to have a negative impact on the currency pair. And so on a currency pair such as US dollar, on the US dollar, when such an event is released, we are going to see a depreciation in the value of price. But let's take for example, we have previously we had 0.3, right? 0.3%, and we come and we see the forecasted value is 0.3% again for this month, and the actual value comes out to be 0.2%. It means that unemployment has dropped. Now we have more people that are employed. Now, for an indicator such as unemployment, if the forecasted value is less than if the actual value is less than the forecasted value, then it is good for the currency pair, right? So if the forecasted value is less than the actual value, then it means that it is good for the currency. So if you have a value that is less here for the actual value, and if the actual value is less, right, and the forecasted value is high, then we are going to have a it means that we had a drop in unemployment for that month. And what that means for that currency pair is that unemployment is increasing, and so we have more people that are gainfully employed, and so it means good for the currency pair. And so we are going to have appreciation in the price of that particular currency pair, right? So that is how you can always go to look at it. Now, this network is not letting us see that interface. I needed us to see that interface because it is very important, and it is going to show us a lot of things about when it comes to looking at fundamental analysis, right? So on other currency pairs, right, another thing that you need to note about technical analysis or about fundamental analysis is that if sometimes technical analysis is going to show you what will happen when a fundamental analysis has been released. So let's take for example, I go on the dollar index, there is a high impact news coming up, and price has been making continuous higher high. That means price has been in an uptrend, right? I can identify a clear trend to the upside, and when the trend comes onto a resistance area, right, let's say this is our trend and we are trending to the upside, and we come across a resistance area. A resistance area could either be a bearish order block, a bearish fair value gap, all of those things, right? Support, resistance, all of those things, they also fall under support, resistance. So we could come into that point of interest, and before that news release, you see that there is a pattern that is formed on your support area, on your point of interest, right? So before that news release, I spot maybe a double top on that point, and my neckline is broken. Or maybe I spot a head and shoulder pattern on my support or on my resistance level, and the head and shoulder and the neckline of that pattern is broken. So technically, the market is showing me that the market is going to drop. So most at times, news activity will act as catalyst for price action, not as a total deter to what is happening in the market. So price action will likely show you, or news activities will likely push the market to move as it is supposed to move, or as it was supposed to move. But the only thing that happens is that it is going to move faster. So most at times, fundamental analysis will show you, or technical analysis will likely show you where the market is going to move in when that news activity is being released. Now, the next thing that you should note about fundamental analysis is that we don't use them as a stand alone, okay? We use them in relation to other technical factors, right? We use them in relation to other technical factors such as, and we use them as confluence, right? When you're trading you need to always apply what is called confluence. So if you're trading without confluence, it means that you're trading without a lot of evidence. So we are using technical analysis, we are using fundamental analysis to bring confluence to our analysis, to bring more weight to our edge in the market. And if you want to trade around these news activities, the best way for you to trade around news activities is either you get into the trades early, right, before the news activity, and you let the market play out during the news activity, or you wait about 5 to 10 minutes after the news activity when the noise of the market has been cleared for you to get into your position. So unfortunately, our network service did not allow us to open that interface, right? It did not allow us to open the interface where we'll be looking at the forecasted value, but it is very easy, right? Once you click on any of the folder, right? Once you click on any of this folder, it is going to lead you to that interface. And on that interface, what you are looking out for, what your attention is on, is the usual effect that the news activity will have on the price of a currency pair. So that is where our attention is mostly based on. So there are a lot of other activities, or there are a lot of things that we need to put together for us to have a well-rounded strategy in trading. And so it is not only about fundamental analysis. It is not only about looking at the news activity that is coming up on a currency pair. And what you need to do is to learn to familiarize yourself with all of these things. And so you can always come into our Telegram channel, where we also have free classes and we offer you free educational material and things like this. So if you've enjoyed this video so far, please make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, despite of all our technical difficulties that we had along the way, right? So I hope that you have learned something out of this video, right? So just to recap some things about technical or fundamental analysis, is that fundamental analysis, one, has the potential, right? One has potential to move the market, massively. Two, watch out for multiple news activities. Three, always watch out for news activities on the currency pairs that you're trading out, right? Always look out for multiple news activities coming up on a currency pair. Now, the next thing is that you should always also wait, or you should trade like 30 minutes or 10 minutes before a news activity, or you should trade like 10 or 30 minutes after a news activity. And then also you should note that fundamental analysis should be used with confluence to other technical methods of analyzing, together with a rounded mindset, psychology and emotional management. So if you have enjoyed this video so far to the end, please make sure to like, make sure to share, make sure to comment, make sure to give us your opinions on what you think, and I am always open to learning as well. If you're not in our Telegram channel, please make sure to join, because you're probably missing out on a lot of valuable content that we share for free. And if you want to take your trading to the next level, you can also enroll in our private mentorship program, and we are going to be taking you on these 3 pillars of successful trading, which is the platform that you use, which is Exness, right? So if you don't have a trading account with Exness, there is a link in the description box. Make sure to create your account, and if you don't know how to verify it, you can always get back to me, and I am going to assist you with the verification of your account. And also make sure that you make sure you subscribe to the channel, so that you don't miss out on subsequent tutorials that we post. And last but not the least, you should focus on the journey, right? Successful trading does not happen overnight. Trust yourself, trust the journey, focus more on the process, right? Trading is more about focusing on process than on focusing on outcome, because what we can control in trading is that we can control the process and the mindset that we bring into trading, but we cannot control the results. So let us always try to control the results by bringing in a good trading process, a good platform, a good methodology, and a good mindset into your trading. So, have you ever asked yourself that in a world of trading where we have 6 trillion US dollar being traded in the market, we have just about 95%, we have just about 5% of people making money consecutive in the market, while 95% are losing in the market. Why, when it requires for them just to place a buy or a sell in the market? Have you ever asked yourself that? So come into our program, come into our mentorship program, and you are going to be learning all of this. How you can move yourself from the 95% and you place yourself among the 5% that are consistently winning. So I wish you all the best. And despite our network issues, I hope you learned something. God bless you all. And may the trading gods continue to guide your trading journey. See you guys in our next series. Bye bye.